Throughout the interview, Mariana kept telling me how her undocumented status was very empowering because she had made it to the university. She was here, something that a lot of other students haven't been able to do. And she felt that her undocumented status was what kept her going. Asking for help wasn't going to demonstrate that in her eyes. Instead, it was going to be weakness, or so she thinks. She doesn't want to demonstrate weakness. She doesn't want to be vulnerable either, as it was very clearly seen with her absence of not even going home and seeing her friends. Furthermore, my second finding was the fear of the unknown, which will be demonstrated through Darlene's interview. Darlene migrated to the United States when she was 11 years ago in 2001. She was only 9. She was born in Mexico, but grew up in the Bay Area. When I asked her to share a current problem caused by her immigration status, she shared with me that it was a family problem, and that one of her cousins had gotten arrested and was in the process of being deported. When I asked her, has this affected you in any way, his deportation? She said that she felt very hurt and really scared because he was getting deported and there's nothing that she can do about it. I asked her how this had affected her, and she says, I try to be strong. Once again, doesn't want to be vulnerable. I try to be strong about it. But personally, it was affecting me. She said that she was feeling down and depressed. She was sad. Once again, I asked her, have you thought about going to the counseling and psychological services? And her answer was no. It never even crossed my mind. She says, I just tend to keep things to myself, so I don't see why I will go see them. Plus, I have my friends whom I trust and would rather share it with. I told her the same thing. They might be able to provide you with some tools that your friends can't, because we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to deal with it ourselves. So when I asked her to tell me, to share with me how come she hadn't gone to the counseling and psychological services, she said, I guess the whole, besides like not trusting or not, besides not feeling that trust, I feel it's just a whole hustle of trying to find someone to talk to that I've never been there. So I don't know if you can just drop in or whatever. So I guess the hustle of trying to find someone, actually talking to them, and I don't know what to expect, Darlene doesn't know what to expect from the counseling and psychological services. It's unfamiliar. And oftentimes we fear the unknown. We fear what we don't expect. However, it is still very important to understand that the services are here for a reason. My third finding was trust. And I will share this through Manuel's words. Manuel, I don't have a story. Manuel's parents migrated to the United States in 1993 and brought with them 11-year-old Manuel. Since his parents entered the country without state recognition, they were and still are classified as undocumented immigrants. Manuel grew up in Los Angeles, and his parents have been paying out of pocket for his tuition and living expenses since he never received any scholarships. Just like Mariana, Manuel too shared that an ongoing problem that he was experiencing was the lack of financial support. I asked Manuel if he were to ever seek help from the counseling and psychological services, who would he prefer to talk to, an Anglo-American counselor or a Mexican-American counselor? And he answered, honestly, I will feel with a Mexican-American therapist. I will feel much more safer, and also with a female therapist rather than a male therapist. Because I feel like a Mexican-American will be able to understand more, will be able to maybe, through their own families, They've had families that are undocumented. They have cousins or uncles, so maybe that creates more of a bond between you and the therapist. And also, because of your experiences growing up might be similar. Manuel and the other two participants said pretty much similar things, that they would prefer talking to somebody of their same ethnic background. And this was because of the idea of trust. They felt that a Mexican-American counselor was going to be able to share the same experiences, that they were going to be able to have some practical solutions and not theoretical, or something that they just read about or heard about. Instead, they lived it. They probably experienced it through their friends. They just thought it was going to be easier for them to approach a counselor, especially when talking about issues related to their immigration status. So what does it mean, right? We have the three themes, and we know they prefer somebody who was of their same ethnic background. So one of my recommendations is for counseling and psychological services is to develop an outreach workshop for undocumented students. This workshop should cover things as basic as what is CAPS, who are we, how to make an appointment, when is it appropriate to even make an appointment. Patient's confidentiality was very key when dealing with undocumented students, assuring them that any information that is shared is not going to be put public or it won't be with anybody. In addition to some of my recommendations, I also have some future research that has to be done. And this is to assess how many undocumented are actually using the services. I only looked at 3 participants, but there's a lot more. In addition, we have to examine some of the social emotional experiences that undocumented students are going to be encountering now that the California DREAM Act has passed, and maybe financial support won't be that big of a problem, but it won't solve it. So thank you all. Conducting and writing this research has been very challenging, as it made me think of my undocumented status every single day for the last 2 quarters. Excuse me. I'm thankful for the strong support. Excuse me, sorry. And networks that have helped me through the most painful parts of my research. Thank you, Dr. White. Thank you, Ron. Cinistas. Thank you, guys. Of course, Robin, Angelica, Serena, the EOP cohort who always saw me cry, and the EOP staff for giving me this great opportunity. Thank you.